What's poppin'? Welcome back to another episode of Performance Talking. You already know I'm up in here with my bro from another mother on the other side of the country, other side of the world, goddamn. Nyasha from Quick Stop F1. Right, the world, the pun. One of the hottest, livest podcasts out for Formula One content. You know it ain't many that stay rare and real is rare, bro. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm excited to be here. Back with my brother, chopping it up. We're on the other side of the country. Apparently, I'm transported to America overnight. But
right. You will be. I'm looking forward. I'm already looking forward to it.
I will be, man. We'll be in Austin in October.
Facts.
And Vegas. So yeah, man. Really excited I'm really excited to meet a lot of our American listeners. Well, not a lot of, but to meet some of our American listeners, whoever's going to be out there, and also, hopefully trying to do something, some kind of meetup /show something in Austin. So that's, we're going to be announcing all of that most likely in September. So really exciting times coming up. But no, thank you for having me here.
Right, shit gonna be crazy. Nyasha, Quick Stop F1 Wolfpack Performance gonna be in Austin, Texas for COTA. So y'all definitely got to pull up. You already know you can hit us up on 100%. Social media. Nyasha gonna be all over the damn place. I'm gonna try to get up with my brother and my sis Tandy over there. So if you catch us at the same place at the same time, you get a double. And I don't know if you can handle that much, but it's worthwhile seeing. So I'm excited about going there, man. It's going back kind of home for me, Texas. I'm from the great state, but I'm definitely going to try to enjoy the general admission side this time. I got a lot of flack from some of the people that were trying to get with me down there, and I couldn't because of my situation, but I'm definitely trying to do that this time. And honestly, I want to say there's a lot to enjoy about general admission side that I saw. So I want to get that experience as well, man. So definitely clipping on that, man. So let's clip up real quick. Let's talk about some of these shenanigans going on in Formula One, man. So right off the bat, let's just talk about, let's get into some of the rumors. Now, we'll call these rumors, but we're going to respond to them anyway. I saw something vaguely of Helmut Marko suggesting that Andretti buy Alpine so that he can get in Formula One. Why the fuck Helmut Marko suggesting that he buy another team when they got 2 teams, 4 cars, 4 drivers on the grid? Why don't you take AlphaTauri off our hands? How you feel about that shit?
That is interesting, isn't it? Because there was rumours of AlphaTauri being up for sale, wasn't there?
Right.
Maybe like 2 months ago, which kind of then disappeared quite quickly. I'd also say, me and you love our ownership chat, and I also think it's almost like he's sunning Andretti and saying, why don't you just buy Alpine, as that, that would be an easier entry into F1 than it would for to them. But they're currently in the middle of a tender process to come into F1, and they're currently undergoing, I think it's the FIA process. I know that Mohammed Ben Sulayem is very keen to have Andretti in there. I would say that what's actually crazy? I've never had someone else put sound effects while I'm talking.
Shit, fuck what you did. I saw it the first time. I said, I'm here his ass again.
When other people are talking. So I've got it in my ear. I'm just like, what's going on right now? I've just understood. Shit. That's actually quite off-putting. So what is going on here?
Shit.
So it'll be seen whether there'll be whether F1 themselves will ever accept a new team, and they're talking about raising the 200 million entry fee into something a lot bigger now, which is again another hurdle. So it's just, we'll see. I mean, in terms of my reaction to it, I think it's Helmut Marko being Helmut Marko. I think Alpine have already sold off. They sold off that 15% to the consortium, including 24%. Including like Ryan Reynolds and I think Michael B. Jordan was in there too. And,
Michael B. Jordan and McAfee.
So clearly they're seeking investment, but I don't know, man. Yeah. I
don't think Andretti
I think Andretti wants to come into.
He wants his team, right? He wants his team. No, so let me ask you this: what the hell is the problem? Because it don't seem it is. They moved the goalpost several times, right? Initially, this all came up in an arise. Andretti wanted to get into Formula One, and it was like, okay, you know what? We need people with money. We need people that are going to be able to commit for several years, regardless if they're winning or not. Yeah. Which was the whole Big and Shine shoe show with Porsche and damn Audi. So then Andretti partners up with the biggest manufacturer in America, General Motors. And now he does that, gets the back, and now it's like, okay, well, what kind of power unit they going to be using? We don't know if we want to accept that. Then they kind of go around that. Then it's like, okay, well, maybe $200 million dilution fee is not enough. We want to. Why the constant? Does Formula One really want to accept entrants, or is there some type of grind to be had with Andretti and his family? What do you think on that?
I think FIA want more teams. I don't think F1 do. Look, asking F1 teams to essentially dilute the pot of money that they're all going to get is like asking a turkey to vote for Christmas, right? Like it's not really something that, if you just look at it on the face of things, you add another team in, it dilutes the money. Right. Maybe that team does better than you. So really, what are we doing here? Why would we want another team? We've got 10 at the moment. We've got to a place where the sport is now even more profitable because we've reduced costs with the cost cap and we've increased revenue with all of the new interests. So I don't think it's like... I think there's a lot of opposition to Andretti purely because Andretti are the loudest about wanting to be in Formula One, and I think they're ruffling feathers and they're upsetting the status quo, and they're making team bosses come out and say, I don't know if we actually need an 11th or 12th team. I guess, just from my experience of conversations that I've had with certain people who are like kind of involved in the process, it really is, you are fighting a losing battle. That the FIA want you there, but F1 don't. And in terms of what even the FIA are willing to accept, the bar is so high. I think they had to pay like $50 million just to apply, or something stupid like that. So. Or a big amount of money. So, it's really...
let's say that because people be like, it's not 50 million. You know how people scrutinize like critical when it comes to us saying shit.
Yeah, so there was obviously an application fee.
Right. Let's be real though. The last team, there's one team principle that I've said, and I've been on his head, like, you have no right to speak. Like, Gunther has no right to speak about a team coming into Formula One and what are they going to bring, because Haas has not brought shit to Formula One but a random amount of failed-ass sponsorships, a debacle of a driver pairing, and the famous quote of "fuck slam my door" and T-shirts for Gunther. Like, you were the 11th team on the grid when Mercedes Manor was in there, and then they left and you're there. So, like, you are not like it's always like, it's maybe not what I'm saying, but the messenger who's saying it. Like, Haas has really they shouldn't say shit, because I don't think Haas has really bought anything worth talking about to Formula One. And they're hardly even respected as an American team. Like, the Americans don't even realize, like, oh, we got an American. Man, you know how many people I asked, did you know you got an American team in Formula One? Like, shit, no, I didn't know that. Come on, man. I'm dead serious.
It's an American team with Italian parts, Russian money, not even like an American driver. So obviously not Russian money anymore. But, at one point, very heavily backed by Russian money. And it was really only until the war in Ukraine that, all of a sudden we can't take money from quite probably America's biggest, international foe in their history since independence, right? When you think about it. So, I don't know, man. It's just... it is weird with Haas. I've always been quite critical of Haas. What do they actually bring to the table? I think Haas, basically, they managed to sneak in before F1 kind of had this increase in their ability and the increase in F1 popularity. And I just think, I'm with you, to be honest. I don't think Good Haas is even doing. It's Good Stein is doing a good job. I think he's releasing books now. You know, he's become a character. And he's now he gets to release books and be on the Sky Sports podcast, but that's not even bringing any more attention to Haas. Like, I don't get what Haas are here for. It's definitely not a good time, and I'm afraid, you know, Gene Haas always seems to be on the verge of bankruptcy when it comes to the Formula One team. So I don't know. Like, I just don't know. I don't know where that really has to go.
It has to go. All right, let's move into the cost cap, man. Cost cap is like people are starting to get very interested in when are these announcements going to be made. To me, it seems like Formula One FI are being very quiet about it. And I feel like when somebody's that quiet for this long with no type of update, I just feel like it's a bunch of funny business going on behind the scenes. Like, there's a bunch of clean around this door, try to get everything straight before mom and dad get home, get somebody in here to clean this house, get somebody in here to replace or repaint this shit. I just feel like it's really suspect what's going on, man. Now, what's your notions on the cost cap and the lack thereof of announcements or transparency this season?
The cost cap. Yeah, I actually really agree. Sorry, I was just trying to put it into words. Like, I'm so... You kind of get tired of everything we kind of spoke about with the cost cap last year, and obviously, like, I think in a lot of eyes, especially given how we've seen the car now, right. I think I saw Red Bull the other day. You know, we saw them just bring an upgrade to Belgium, which quite clearly took them an even bigger step forward. And I just think that it's, you know, one of those things where we'll see who's done it. It's quite clear that obviously someone has overstepped on the cost cap again.
Right.
I can't quite remember the timelines from last year, but
I think around October,
I would say,
is when everything, but they delayed it.
Yeah. I think someone will have overstepped again. I think there's no smoke without fire when it comes to these things. So let's see. I mean, I don't know who. Honestly, I don't know who. There's been so many rumours, but I think the three that always seem to come up is Mercedes, Aston Martin and Red Bull. So I think, you know, Red Bull are...
You think Mercedes might have breached, bro? You think Mercedes breached?
I don't think they did, no. I think if anyone did...
I don't think so either.
It's going to be I think it'll be procedural rather than
rather than financial.
Procedural rather than an actual. Gotcha. Yeah, I think there may be a procedural, but I don't. I think after last year, you've got to be brazen to do it again. And I think if you're a team that's not Red Bull, 30-40% reduction in your development time is a big miss if you're trying to progress up the table. So I almost find it quite counterproductive for Mercedes if they have done it. And I don't think Red Bull will have. Honestly. It would just be the stupidest thing ever to have breached once and then to do it again.
And then breach again.
Like, if they do it again, like, they've got to go. They've got to get out of here.
They got to, right, bro. It got to get the book slammed in. I mean, it's got to go bad, bro. You can't, twice, y'all can't let them slide twice. Nah, we can't do that. And I ain't gonna lie, I get tired of everybody. No. It's an unfair comparison for people to talk about, well, Mercedes overspent. Like, there was no fucking cost cap. There was no cost cap when Mercedes was spending this money. So I don't know how people come up with this damn comparison, bro.
I saw that question come in. Am I done with George?
Be honest.
Yeah, I am for now. I think I am. I think.
Look,
I am. I think. I am. Like, I think for me...
Speak on that.
With George, I will.
Okay.
So with George, I feel like... how do I put this? I think I said this on the podcast. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Can't fool me 3 times. And I think for me, George, I need to see something else from George now. That I think I've defended him. I feel like even just like as a teammate,
bro. Right.
I'm not getting. What I'm getting is someone who's under pressure and making stupid errors and making errors or acting in a way which is trying to basically make sure that he kind of stays above float whilst trying to drag Lewis into the mire with him. And I don't think that that's something that I think I can abide by as a Lewis fan.
Okay.
I don't think it's anything sinister, but I just think right now, of course, he wants to kind of get his season back on track, but I just think he needs to focus on himself, focus on his own craft, focus on his own understanding of the W14, and then think about challenging Lewis. But you can't run before you've learned how to walk, and I think he needs to learn how to walk a little bit. And I think he's a great driver, and I think I don't have that.
You think
much.
great? You think great, bro? Do you think the great term gets thrown around a bit too loosely? Like I don't know if I can call George great. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Like I say, he's elite, he's good. He's excellent, but I just think these days, man, great is just thrown out. Like when you go to the damn dentist and they give you a lollipop before you even go back there and get your teeth clean. Like, damn, you could have gave me this shit until after I got it done. Like I might go back here and holler my ass off. You might not want to give me a lollipop then. I think the great term, man, I just think it's given out too loosely. And that's just me, because I'm like, man, if I say great, I'm already like, it's a minimum. It's very small, but it just seems like every time I turn around, it's great. Or I've never seen this shit before. Like, what the fuck have you been watching all this time you've been watching this sport? So do you really think he's great, or do you think he's excellent and just elite? Like, what do you really think? Like, if you sit back and really think about it, can you say George Russell is great?
Okay, let me flip it back on you. Who do you think in F1 is great?
With who would I call great? I'm already gonna say, I think Lewis Hamilton is great. Lewis Hamilton is great. I might even have to say, I mean, bro, I don't like Alonso's character, but what Alonso is able to do, the amount of information he's able to intake and then react and know what's going on around him at all times, Alonso's great. Other than that, Max is getting there for me. Now, I'm going to say I devalue his greatness right now because it's just true. And Alonso said this, and I'm going to throw it back at Alonso one day if I ever get a chance to ask him this in his face. Alonso said that he felt like Max's championships were more valuable than Lewis's. And I think that that's completely fucking wrong. Max, for one, never had the pressure of coming in as a rookie, even in a competitive team, and driving against already a 2-time champion. Max has never even had a champion beside him. The other situation is, let's just keep it real. It's not a problem. It is what it is. I'm not shading it or hating it. The RB19 is probably, like they've said, one of the best developed cars in Formula One history. Like, it is a dominant ass car, and Max does what he's supposed to do. Max is a very good elite driver. But I have to say that at this point in time, like, who the hell am I watching you race against? And it's really not just because of you, bro. The car is that damn dominant. But Max is able to take that car where he takes it. So I give him full credit for that. Now, this whole debacle with Perez, we can attach that later. But the point is, if I give Max something, I can trust that Max is going to optimize it and take it where it needs to be, especially if I give him something formidable. I can trust that. So I'm really not there. I'm almost there, but I'm going to need to see another season of real competitiveness, because I say Alonso's great because I've seen Alonso drive with other competitors that people thought were great, and he's right next to him, and you really get to see his skills outperform somebody else or what he can do. Lewis Hamilton has also done that. Vettel's done that. So it's like I haven't gotten a chance really this season especially to see that from Max. And yeah, so I'll say Alonso, Lewis, I can say great currently on the grid right now. Max to me is getting there, but I'm gonna need to see a little bit more when the pressure is really on him to see how he handles that pressure, because greats can handle pressure very well. What about you? And I appreciate you throwing that back my way, brother. Go ahead.
No, it's important to get definitions of. Let's talk about it from the same perspective, and then we can have a good conversation rather than coming at it from two separate perspectives, right? And then, what really is that? So, by your definition, I think we're using, I would say, great and elite in the same bracket. That's how I would, I feel like you're talking about the upper echelon, creme de la creme, almost Hall of Fame standard of drive.
Like, I think you got to be elite to make it to Formula One, but great is beyond after you make it to Formula One.
By that definition, yeah, George Russell isn't a great in Formula One. No. I would say that. I would say currently in F1, yeah, those three are, the gold standard of driver. Okay. I think I would put Max in there because at the end of the day, this year I'm just tired. I can't, as much as I want to be there and I want to be like, Max is shit, this, that, and the other. Like, I can't say it anymore. Like, I refuse to say it. It's too many wins. He's got more wins. He's got more wins than Senna. Like, this guy he's doing it. He's doing it. In the same way, it doesn't mean that I have to enjoy it. I'm not enjoying it. And I think that the same way I didn't really enjoy Vettel's run, there were points in 2011 and 2011 maybe? I can't remember. In 2013? 2013 for sure, where I was like, this is not fun for anyone. So I think, for me, on the current grid, Max, Alonso, and obviously Lewis are great. I think George has the capability to be great, but it would need a lot going in his way.
I'll go with that. The potential,
and I'd be very interested. I'd be very interested to see. And one of those things is Lewis not being in the car. So I think I'd be interested to see if he's still around at Mercedes, or if someone takes a punt on him, or he takes a punt on maybe, I don't know, going somewhere else and being the main guy. Let's say if Lewis decides to stay around for another 3 years. Let's say Lewis is 38 now, Alonso is 42. Alonso's got a contract until he's 43, 44. So if Lewis decides to stay around for another 5 years, let's say, does George have the patience to get beaten for 5 years straight? Do Mercedes have the patience with George for 5 years to not beat Lewis Hamilton? I guess obviously you could say beat him last year, but if he doesn't do it again. So, yeah, let's see. It'll be interesting. But going back to the original question that from Mary, just to round it off, I'm done defending him. I'm done defending him blindly, and he's on his own. And if something else happens, we're gonna tear into him the same way we do any other driver. He's lost his street pass. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's on his own now.
Right.
Yeah,
it's over.
Rip that shit up. That accreditation's gone.
Right.
Yeah,
So Will has a question. He says, do you think the problem is the cost cap itself or the governing body that enforces it?
The cost cap is... The thing is, right, everyone just thinks about the cost cap as a competition thing, and it is, right? If you go back and listen to Lawrence Stroll's Beyond the Grid podcast interview, you will hear him talk about the only reason that he bought Racing Point was because of the upcoming cost cap rules. So he knew in the future this is roughly the amount of money that I'm going to spend every year in a Formula 1 team. It's going to be vaguely competitive, and it's going to allow me to be able to budget and acclimatize for how much I'm going to spend, and I can build a Formula 1 team out of it. Without the cost cap, teams like Williams would be finished. I think teams like Haas would be finished. I don't think Alfa Romeo, all of these things, the smaller teams would not be around if there's no cost cap. Now, has that then sacrificed the larger teams' ability to develop their way out of trouble? Yes. So it's not a perfect solution by any means, but I think for the good and health of the sport, we need the cost cap. Now, should it have been more strongly policed and actioned where there was failures to adhere to it? I believe so. Yeah, but that's, I think, well, honestly, I reckon they could have given them. I think the only thing that I would have really gone for would have been like monetary fine. If the monetary fine came out of their fucking budget, that would have been cool. If there was like a point, if there was like a points or championship kind of deduction, which meant that maybe they didn't finish first in the constructors, maybe.
I'm cool.
That would have been cool. I think the punishment that they got of like a fine and the development thing, I don't think any development punishment, looking at how quick the car is, would have affected them this year. And so any punishment in that vein, I think, would have been light, in all honesty. So, no?
Yeah, I don't think it would have affected them at all, bro. I told people this. I said it's not going to affect them, and it's not going to even affect them next season because you see they were already talking about. I said Red Bull's aerodynamic package is so far ahead of the grid. This is not going to impact them, whatever. And I think it was bullshit to allow them to go in and negotiate a lower penalty. I feel like some other things that might need to happen with the cost cap. If you breach financially with the overexpenditure, you don't even get an ABA. You don't even get an ABA. If you breach procedurally, you get an ABA and you get that first initial. And if you don't like it, then you go to the cost cap adjudication board. If you don't like the penalty that we've enforced for you breaching the cost cap procedurally, then you could take your chances up there with the big dogs. If you breach financially, you don't even get an ABA. Like, you take your ass right up there and then they'll decide what's going to happen with you. I think that whole situation with Red Bull was with kid gloves, and it really ruined going forward. For the next team that breaches, they're going to, like Aston Martin is great with this, right? They get a petition, they put that shit together, and they're like, hey, there's 7 other examples of this that you didn't enforce this. Why do we have to be the only team to get a penalty for this? And the next thing you know, it's overturned. The next team that breaches, and if it's similar to Red Bull, and they get a stiff-ass penalty without having breached before, I think it's going to be a problem because they didn't assert themselves correctly or even deal out a punishment that should be like, hey, we're not playing that shit. And it's going to be on their own fault. Spoiled children will always be spoiled. That's a fact.
No, that's a big fact. And I think we'll see. I think it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting just how any breaches of the cost cap are kind of dealt with this year. And I I don't have a lot of faith. It's probably the same as you. I don't have a lot of faith in the governing body to kind of deal with it, because they didn't deal with it, the first time. But also, hopefully there's some lessons learned. So let's see.
All right. So Lou, do you think Aston Martin was one of 3 teams to breach? Now Williams, they breached procedurally. They had a third party that failed to turn in their documentation on time. So that's a situation that's like, hey, it happened. You got to be responsible for who you employ to handle your documentation and your submissions.
Was I just on mute?
No, you good, bro. You good. I think your wife.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you good. So I think you thought you was done, right? So I think that situation was it happens, but it's not egregious. And then you had Aston Martin, which, had a little bit of both. And then you had Red Bull to just completely. So what do you think? Do you think Aston Martin, given their situation at the first part of the season, may have breached again? Or do you think that's completely cool? And even if they did or didn't breach, I want you to answer the second part of this question. Do you think Stroll should be pulled from his seat and Felipe given a chance on the back half of this season?
I don't think that. Wasn't there rumours that Aston Martin had like an illegal part and they had to take it? It wasn't Crofty saying that. That they had there was rumours that they had an illegal part, and that's what was contributing to the increased performance, and then they had to take it out. So, I mean, look, it's all rumours. My stance on Aston Martin, my whole thing is right now I'm just going to take everything at face value until I see anything different. So I don't really think there's anything. I don't think there's any connection or correlation between Aston Martin's performance and what happened in the cost cap situation. What is a correlation is that Lawrence Stroll bought a Formula 1 team. He put his kid in there, okay? Unless his kid, Lance Stroll, wants to go and do something else, every conversation about what's happening to his seat needs to stop. And I think the F1 and media are bold for even suggesting that Lawrence Stroll will kick his own son out of an F1 team. This guy, let me tell you now, Lawrence Stroll funded his whole son's F1 motor racing career. Lawrence Stroll is worth $3.6 billion, and he went to every single Lance Stroll race as a junior. My dad wasn't even worth a millionth of that and didn't turn up to anything I did. So, come on, guys. This guy has been sculpting and molding this guy's career since he was a kid, okay? He's closer now to being Formula 1 world champion than he was 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. And he was still bankrolling him there. What's going to make you think he's going to stop now? It's never going to happen unless Lance Stroll wants to go off to...
Do you not think that there's a line, though, bro? Do you not think that there's a line that says, yo, at some point, you are the weakest link. Like, I can fund you. And at this point in time, I have a team that literally can fight for at least Constructors' Championship or second, and you are the weakest link, son. You don't think at some point in time you have to put business and you have to put the team that you are literally in control of ahead of just wanting to get a nepotism seat to your son? At some point, bro, if you realize like, yo, we didn't win or we lost a spot because you failed to make it top 5 majority of the damn season while Alonso's old ass is getting podiums. You don't think at some point in time you got to say the buck got to stop at some point? Like if I'm going to be a team owner and I really want this team to do well, or I just want to, if he just says, you know what, I just want to fun and let my son drive in Formula 1 cars and have a very good shot. I don't care about Constructor Championships. I just care about him eventually, hopefully being able to get a championship. Cool, say that shit. But you don't think at some point in time the buck got to stop and you got to say, yo, you just not cut like that.
I think you underestimate the power of nepotism, bro. I don't know what you come on. Like,
That shit's powerful. It's a hell of a drug.
Like, bro, nepotism's a hell of a drug, bro. Like, come on. Like,
okay.
It's not,
all right. Nyasha said point blank period. That shit's that's that.
Like, join. Honestly, you got any more of that? Like, it is what it is, man.
All right, so I got a final question for you from Baraka. He says this. Just give me one rule from another racing series that you would like to see in Formula One, and will Arsenal win the league this year? Oof, I know you're going to have something for that last part.
I'd love to see push to pass in F1 as opposed to DRS. That's probably the one thing that I would probably bring in. I think we need to make DRS more tactical. I also don't agree with DRS in qualifying as well. It doesn't make sense. So I think push to pass, you've got 100 seconds or whatever, use it however you want across the race weekend in defense or attack. It makes it a more tactical game. And you kind of need closer racing for that. So let's put one foot in front of the other. Arsenal are going to win the league this year, I think. I thought we were going to do it last year. I was saying in like September, October last year that we were going to win the league, and obviously we went so well until like April, May, and then we lost. So I think we've got a stronger squad this year. I think Manchester City are a little bit weaker, and I think I think we're gonna do it. So up the Gunners.
That's the best. So listen, hey, big shout out to homeboy. I can't remember his name. He got a big ass contract though, but I think it's for like 10 years. But still, that's a hell of a bag he got. It wasn't with Arsenal. I think it was another team, but I did kind of see that soccer players out there, man. And football, they out there getting that check, bro. They getting these baseball checks, man. So, man, I really do appreciate Nyasha coming in, stopping by. Yeah. We're all busy, so we stay cranking, stay busy. So it's very rough for us to get together. So the fact the brother made some time to stop by for the Wolfpack fam. Definitely, Nyasha, man, go ahead, put out real quick where everybody can reach you. Definitely, if you got anything coming up, let that be known real quick. And don't forget, man, stick around after a minute so we can chat it up for a second before I let you get out of here.
Thank you so much. You can find Quickstop F1 at Quickstop F1 on all socials. Yeah, we've got some stuff coming up, I'm sure, but we'll announce that soon enough. And yeah, man, just really happy to be here with you guys. Thank you for having me. So lovely to see everyone posting questions and stuff in there. And yeah, big up F1 content creators. Big up Aldous and Tomo doing their live show. Congratulations on that. That's really cool. Big up anyone, man, who's just trying to make a living doing something creative. It's not easy, man. So appreciate the people that you like. If you've got a creator that you like out there, show them some love, support them, because it makes a real big difference.
Big facts, y'all. So listen, that's another Performance Talk episode. Wolves Den Slightish. We're about to get up out of here. Peace. See y'all soon. We out. Thanks for watching another episode of Wolfpack Performance. Don't forget to check out some of my other content on Formula One and motorsports topics. Like, share, subscribe, and we go live on the weekends. See you soon.